Okay, guys, Donald J. Trump has won in a landslide. The number one reason that I think that people voted for Donald Trump because of the economy. They feel like the current administration, quite frankly, just didn't get it done for them, cost them more money, everything got more expensive. The stock markets are absolutely ripping in response to that news. Now, why would the stock market be so happy about Donald Trump winning? These are financial markets. What are they expecting? He's not even in power yet. First of all, everyone knows that Donald Trump wants to lower energy prices. He wants to produce more oil and gas. So, with that in mind, if he goes ahead and does that, what does that mean for the everyday consumer? One of the things that is being priced in is that companies and institutions are expecting there to be more deregulation under Donald Trump. So, deregulation, expecting deregulation, whether it happens or not, has already caused the stock market to rip. The other part of it is that they are expecting that the job market will get better. Why are they expecting this? This is back to Trump talking about tariffs. He talks about tariffs in regards to putting pressure on other countries. He's talking about if companies in the United States want to leave and produce their goods in other countries, to import those goods from the other countries into the United States, there are going to be higher tariffs. Now, those companies, over there, they're not paying for it. The consumer in the United States is going to pay for that. But it changes consumer sentiment. Consumers will look and they'll decide, I don't want to buy that item because of it's 20%, 100% more than buying this other product that's made in the US of A. That turns into more jobs within the United States. There's a much broader picture to that. I don't want to just give you this idea like, oh, that fixes everything, because there are a lot of concerns inside of that. There's a lot of countries that could be very concerned that they're getting blocked out of being able to produce these goods. They're getting blocked out of being able to sell their goods in the US. Now, why is real estate so exciting under a Trump administration? Well, many people know that the Biden administration wanted to remove the 1031 exchange. You've heard that sexy term, the 1031 exchange. A lot of people know that Biden wanted to remove it, whereby you could defer your capital gains taxes if you rolled it in through a 1031 exchange into the next property and the next property. You avoided having to pay capital gains each time along the way. The 1031 exchange is massive when it comes to the everyday individual. Let me tell you that this is one of the ways that people can get rich in real estate. If you were to buy a property, fix it up, sell it for more money, rather than having to pay those taxes right away, you get to roll it over into another property. Why is that so important in the economy? Because most people do not want to go through the trouble of having to renovate their own homes. They want to be able to move into, as they call it, move in ready. They want to have homes that are move in ready. And we know that there are more than enough properties out there that are diminished, that have been worn down, that have been beaten up. And quite frankly, the opportunity for real estate investors to go in, do some of that work themselves, and be able to reap the benefits is huge. So the fact that Donald Trump is not going to stop that, the fact that we didn't have that under a Biden Harris administration, though they were talking about it and might have enacted that, might have removed it in their next administration, is huge for real estate investors. Now, not only that, also, they are looking at this new administration under Trump is actually looking to create a pro housing strategy, one where builders are actually interested in and going to profit from building more accommodations, more homes. For Trump to be able to lower home prices, he's he's got to allow there to be a clear path for more building to occur. Now, here's something for us to concern. Just, in closing, I want you guys to think about this. Of all the things that we're perhaps concerned about in a Trump administration, one of the things that we may want to be concerned about is the strengthening of the US dollar. If the US dollar gets stronger, if he's able to cut as much as he's talking about cutting from the infrastructure of the government, cutting out waste, if Elon Musk gets his wish of cutting $2 trillion in wasted spending, that money typically would then go to reducing debt, which would make the US dollar stronger. We actually watched as the first day, just the announcement of Trump being elected created a gap between the US dollar and the Canadian dollar. If the US dollar continues to strengthen, it puts massive pressure on all other countries to be able to trade with the US, to be able to buy in the US, to be able to invest in the US. That can create significant pressure that you and I will not be able to go in and put our dollars to work in that economy. It'll help US citizens to get wealthy, to make more, to be able to keep more. It'll make it harder for us to use Canadian dollars in the US market. That will be something to watch because it could lead to massive trade deficits and trade wars, as we talked about at the top of this episode. A strong US dollar will put pressure around the world. Do people in countries want to tighten their belt when our dollars get stronger? Most people don't want to do that. That's something for us to keep in the back of your mind. Make sure you keep some reserves, because if that happens, you're going to need cash. That's what happened during the Great Depression. Was people did not have cash because they had borrowed so much money. People did not have, whether you were poor, middle class, if you didn't have cash, you were in trouble. If the US dollar gets that strong, we're going to see that effect throughout the world. And you're going to want things like precious metals. You're going to want to have cash on hand. I'm not saying that that's what you should be doing right here, right now, but it's just something for you guys to keep in mind as we continue to see this opportunity unfold in real estate investing in the United States.
When the ones around trusting their word, they walk the talk in the world of investment, they make their mark.